and welcome to Retro Sunday, a stream of retro games, a stream of retro games using the power of the magic falcon slash hawk that lives in my computer. Say hello, Jeff. Hey kids, I'm Jeff, and Nintendo can't sue me because I'm a magical falcon that lives in his computer. That's right, kiddos. Let's get rid of that logo, shall we? Begone, logo! From this earth. Boop. 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 Now, today we're just going to do some NES games using the power of the magical falcon that lives in my computer. You can't sue me, Nintendo. I've done nothing illegal. I figured that we have to do a shitty game first. Let's just get the shitty game out of the way. Shitty game, out of the way, shitty game. Out of the way, shitty game. Out of the way, that's right. We're gonna do the shitty game first. This is Athena, aka a shit game. Ooh boy, howdy is Athena bad. Athena is a very crap game. You can kick and you can jump. That's about it. Am I live? These are the questions I ask myself. Okay, good, I'm live. I had to make the sure, the certain, the goodness, the good shit. .tm. Okay, good, I'm live. I had to make the sure, the certain, the goodness, the good shit. .tm. Yeah, but Athena is a crap game. Mainly because it's ridiculously stupid hard. It's just not fun. But we're getting the shitty game out of the way so that I can show you the actual good games. Huzzah! Taste the hammer of the gods. Yeah, but Athena gets bullshit. Oh, come on, no. This game is awful. The music is awful. The gameplay is just eh. And it's bullshit hard. Isn't that right, Jeff, the magical falcon who lives in my computer? That's right, Ted! And I died. Good. Good. Good.tm. Now I'm just back to kicking pigs. Yeah, kicking pigs. You think a game about the Greek goddess of strategy and warfare would be a lot, better, good, decent, but instead I just have a hammer. Not like a sword or laser beam, an AK-47. Look how much damage that did! That's bullfuck! SNK, well, okay, no, that's enough. That's enough of this game. I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna do Adventure Island 3 because it's actually a decent game. You get to play as Master Higgins. He has dinosaur friends. That makes everything alright. Come on, Master Higgins, you fat bastard. Why won't you just not die? Do. Master Higgins. I think he has a different name in Japan. I don't know what it is, but I think he's actually like based off of a real guy in Japan. Master Higgins, that is. Master Higgins. What is he master of? I don't know. Maybe some dinosaurs on Adventure Island number 3. Do 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 do. I'm sorry for the potatoes. Just potatoes. That's the good shit. Do do na 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 die skull. Master Higgins is a fat fuck. I actually quite like the boomerang weapon. Mainly because it's got a nice long distance. It goes places. Yeah! Dinosaur! Well, I lost my dinosaur. That sucks. Get on the floor! Everybody walk the dinosaur. Thank goodness for spare weapons. So what is Master Higgins throwing? Like tomahawks or like just axes? Stone axes? Stone tomahawks? This game is 1,000 times less percent bullshit than the original Venture Island. I mean, the original Venture Island is... No. 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 I'm a fan of Castlevania, so I can handle hard games, but Adventure Island Uno is just the bullshit. The bullshittiest shit. Na 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 na. No, 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 no. Yes! I have a fairy! That makes me invincible! Oh, I lost Sonic the Dinosaur already. Boosh! Zoop! Oh, thank God. No, no. The water stage is not fun without this guy. I don't know if the dinosaurs have names in this game. I mean, we can give them names like Frank and Bob or Jeff, but not names like Ted. Who names someone Ted? Idiots, that's who. I like the music in this game. It's not the best of the NES, which I'm totally using a legitimate one. Nintendo, you cannot prove anything. Local man groans. Local man groans hard. Local man groans. Local man groans hard. Bum. NES games. Streaming. NES games. Do 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 do. Should I move on to the next game is the question. The answer, the point. Yes, sir. And let's see, what should I play using my totally legitimate NES? Let's see. Power Blade 2. This is one of the later NES games, one of the later NES games. 92. Yeah, we're gonna play as Duke Kickem, Ass Marine. He's here to chew ass and chew names. That's Duke Kickem. He's here to kick ass and chew names. And he is a Bamarain. Is the sound good? Sorry. Yep. Dick Kickem. What did I call him? Ass chew him. Punch knuck him. Piss kick him. Thrust buster. Bob Johnson. Beef Huge McGann Large. I forget how that Mystery Science Theater 3000 bit goes, but it's like kick dick up, Duke fuck you, ass turbo cheese, Frost Master McMasterson. It's one of my favorite bits in all of Mystery Science Theater. I saw some of the new one. It was okay. I mean, it was fine. It was. I feel like Mystery Science Theater English. I can't do it. I've been speaking it my entire life. Can't do it. Oh no, Dick Kickem. He's dead. Punch rock groin. No. Bob Johnson. That's one of my favorite bits. Pooh, a man, he flies like a moron, with the refreshing taste of bacon. Yeah, get that burger. I apologize for my idiocy. Why am I taking so much damage? Oh, no. I found out about this game via websites of questionableness. Yeah. I'm using a totally legitimate NES. But there's a lot of good late era NES games, in my humble opinion, that star guys like Dick Kickem here. I'm gonna do multiple games of the stream, but let's continue. Metal. Have you played the first game? I was just wondering. Power Blade 1. Because the Japanese version of Power Blade 1 is inconceivably different. I don't have that game, of course, because I'm an American, and that would be illegal. That would be illegal. Oh, I really like Shatterhand. I really didn't grow up with an NES. My parents had one, so me and my little brother would play our parents' NES when I was like 4 or 5. So, like, the NES games I remember are like Batman and Donkey Kong and Castlevania and like arcade games that my parents had. My like first real system was a Super Nintendo. Okay, I'm getting sick of Dick Kickem. I'm getting sick of Dick Kickem. Dick Kickem's game. I'm going to show you the game I actually wanted to show you. A completely legitimate import of Akuma no Dracula 3. This is known as Castlevania 3. Now, why am I playing the Japanese version, you might ask, using my magical falcon that lives in my computer? Answer is because the music is better. The music is better. There's actually FM sound in this game. So, that's why we're playing this version, because it has FM sound. I don't remember if this code works or not. Let's find out, shall we? Well, that too, but the FM soundtrack is a lot better. Let's see if that works. For instance, Grant's default weapon in the Japanese version is the knife. I'm not going to use Grant because I don't really care for Grant. Now, in the Japanese version, Trevor has the inconceivably manly name of Ralph. He's not Trevor Belmont in the Japanese version. He's Ralph Belmondo. Dracula Marine. And he's here to kick ass and kick Dracula. Womp 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 womp. Okay, it's not that one. I know there's a secret here somewhere. Castlevania 3 gets bullshit real easily. I'm not joking. It gets super bullshit real easily. Well, you have to remember the Western release was like a really kind of middle to late NES era game. And they had to deal with rentals. So making games bullshit was an easy way to get past rentals. I'm sorry. I would not recommend Castlevania 3 as your first starter game of the series. I'd recommend 4 because, one, it's just easier to get into. If I was gonna put any game to start the series on, I would say the first one or 4. I'm glad Konami is making a Castlevania collection, so I can get that for my Switch and have a good old day. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. Oh no, I thought there was a double shot there. Double shot of holy water is fucking broken in this game. It is ridiculously good. Well, the problem with X, Dracula X, is it's essentially a really watered-down version of Rondo of Blood. And you can easily get a hold of the PSP version of the Rondo of Blood. And also, I think the PS4 Symphony of the Night remake also has Rondo with it. So I don't see like a reason to play X unless you're a bigger Super Nintendo fan. If you're a series fan, you're gonna play Rondo. If you just want to play a Super Nintendo game, you're not missing out by not playing X, of course. Also, the PSP remake is a lot less bullshit to like work and get a hold of now these days than the original Turbo CD version of Rondo. I'm sorry, but it's true. I'm sorry. But yeah, seriously, Konami, make new Castlevania games, please and thank you. Has anyone here seen the second season of the Castlevania anime? Oh yeah, you're totally legitimate NES Mini. I mean SNES Mini, whatever. This boss is easy to cheese. Victory teabag. I remember the PlayStation also had another the problem with the second season is that the first half is kind of slow and then the second half is pretty decent, so I suggest you just go to the later half of the second season because that's when it picks up, in my opinion. I'm sorry. Ah! I suggest you watch the first season if you haven't, Cosby. I'm sorry. Now, why did I choose this over the Clock Tower? Because it's less bullshit than the Clock Tower stage. This might be bullshit, but it's not Clock Tower bullshit. Also, I prefer Sypha over Grant. Grant's just not fun to play as, in my humble opinion. Also, some stages become super cheese when you can use Sypha. Thank you, Castlevania Chronicles. That's what it is. I'm okay with the second Castlevania game on the N64 as someone who grew up with the what did you think of the first season, Cosby, if you mind me asking? Because I was okay with the first season. It was decent. I wanna see where they take it, if they're gonna still continue with the series. But yeah, the second Castlevania game, not Castlevania 64, the other Castlevania game, which I can't remember its name on the N64, is okay. It's not great or anything, but it's decent. The two on the PS2 are okay. Lament of Innocence and Curse of Darkness, I believe that's what they're called. For the PS2 are fine. I'm sorry if you disagree, but they are, in my opinion. Because they're sort of like a really shitty DMC, like a really shitty Devil May Cry or like action game, sort of mixed with Metroidvania elements, and I think they could have been refined. PS2 Castlevanias, that is, I'm sorry. A underrated N64 game, in my humble opinion, is Win Back. I'm sorry if anyone disagrees. After this, if I die again, I'm just going to switch the game to keep it, going, make it interesting. Otherwise, it's just a monotonous mile of... Mile? Did I say mile? Two has got some bullshit in it, but I still quite like Simon's Quest. And N64 is just really, really not a good translation of the gameplay into 3D. Okay, next game. We're gonna do G.I. Joe! The Atlantis Factor by good old Capcom. Do you want me to pause for a second, Cosby? You want me to pause, Cosby? Do you need me to stop it for a second? Is anyone else having problems with the stream? Is anyone else having problems with the stream? I'm sorry. I'd like to apologize on behalf of the British Broadcasting Corporation for any or all technical difficulties. I'm sorry. Really? I sometimes use the Twitch app if Twitch is acting bananas. Sorry. So yeah, this is G.I. Joe, the Atlantis Factor. The other G.I. Joe game on the NES is kind of crap. And I already did Athena, which is a really terrible, terrible NES game, in my humble opinion. This is just okay. I mean, if I was a bigger fan of G.I. Joe beyond, like, the 80s animated movie, and if I was a kid and all I had was an NES, this would have been a perfectly fine game. I'm only going to show a little bit of this game because it's just okay. Sorry. This, I think, is based off an arcade game. I don't think this is anything like the arcade game in my... Do I? Oh, yes, I have a gun. Good. I forgot you had a gun. I was punching when I could be shooting. I hate time limits. That is my... I'm so glad time limits are not really a thing anymore in games. Because that is the one thing that annoys me to no end about retro games. Okay, now we're going to do another okay-ish game. Golgol 13, based off of that anime about Duke Togo. Now, this is actually the only American NES game that I think shows, like, sex. Yeah, I think this is like the only American NES game that like implies the fucking. But I think that's way later into this game than I want to show. Your name is Duke Togo. Kill Marine. You are a secret agent. Oh yeah, no. NES and SNES era Capcom were like golden gods. Them and like Konami were, if you saw their name on the logo, you could you could guarantee you were getting something at least decent. Yes, Duke Togo, we care. Yeah, but this game has a surprisingly big story for an NES game. I'm sorry if this is boring. I apologize. Whoopsie! You saw nothing. Nothing happened. I forgot how long this cutscene is. For an NES cutscene, this is long. I've only seen some of the Go-Go 13 anime. But Duke Togo was a manly man, and he probably shits bricks. I'm sorry for the reading. Deja vu, I've been feeling this feeling before. Okay, yeah, there we go. As you can see, Duke has really fucking long legs. And apparently Duke is fucking Superman. Because he can fucking jump over small buildings at about a single bound. Do 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 Super Duke. He has clamp ass legs. He sadly does not have the clamp Dorito chin of justice. Boosh! Pew pew pew. I'm an idiot. It's not as good as G.I. Joe. It's only really known for the fact that it has a sex scene in an NES game, and it somehow got away with that. And I think I'm done. I think I'm done. Let's move on to Kiwi Craze. Kiwi Craze, also known as New Zealand Story, is, well, you'll see. The plot of Kiwi Craze is inconceivably simple. Walrus done steal all your Kiwi friends. Go save them, Kiwi, using your bow and arrow that never runs out of ammo. So yeah, a walrus has stolen all your Kiwi friends. Go save them. Sorry. And it all takes place in New Zealand. This is by the guys who created Bubble Bobble. So if it has a Bubble Bobble-esque feel, you'll understand why. Yes, it is indeed about the founding of New Zealand. This is how it actually happened. A walrus someday stole some Kiwis, and they decided to become a commonwealth with England. Ugh. Apparently this game was big in, like, home computers back in the day because it was a decent, competent platformer. And it was ported to pretty much every home computer imaginable. I think it even came bundled with like the Commodore 64 later on in its life, so people who kind of grew up with the Commodore 64 kind of love New Zealand Story. That's from like my understanding anyways. Oh, wait, that's a ray gun. Yeah, buddy. Taste laser beams, bears! And other New Zealand fauna. There's a remake of this for the DS. I think I have that. Yeah, simple little arcade platformers I kind of miss. Most of the indie scene now does that now these days. Most big companies just don't want to make arcadey platformers. Which sucks in my opinion, I'm sorry. Because if this game came out today, it'd be like $5 on Steam at most. What I miss is when video games could star more than just generic humans. I absolutely miss the variety in video game protagonists. I miss when we could play as robots and dinosaurs on the moon. Sometimes as robot dinosaurs. Yeah, and basically that's what indies do now these days, Cosby. I'm sorry. But Kiwi Craze is a fine little game. It's perfectly fine. If I grew up with this, I would be perfectly happy with it. I'd be like, oh yeah, Kiwi Craze. I remember that game from when I was a kid, and I'd be okay and dandy. I mean, at least I didn't grow up with Athena on the NES. Oh boy, howdy. And that would have to suck if you grew up with Athena on the NES. Okay, I think we're done with this game. I think I've gotten the most out of it. What should I do next? Ah! Little Samson. This is a very rare NES game. I'm sorry, Cosby. I apologize greatly for how awful that had to be. Little Samson is essentially sort of like Mega Man. You play as a kid named Samson, and you could fire the bells at people, which apparently kill people. And you could climb up walls like so. Yeah, but Little Samson is stupid rare. Because it came out in like 93 or something. By that time, the NES was pretty much dead. Yeah, this came out like in 93. That's why the graphics are really impressive for the NES, in my humble onions. Taito did a lot of good shit on the late NES. This, the Flintstones, Panic Restaurant, Power Blade 1 and 2. Taito were sort of the kings of the late NES era, in my humble opinion. Now, there are different characters who have different abilities, but this isn't really like a Metroidvania game, in my opinion. It's just more of a straight-up platformer. Yeah, it's cute that he does a little spin when he jumps. Yeah, but Taito were basically the best late NES developers, maybe beyond Konami. Like, Konami would not let the NES go. Also, I think pretty much all of Konami's Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis games were excellent. Like, I can't really think of a bad game from the Super Nintendo era from Konami. I miss Golden Age Konami because they were so good. One of my favorite companies back then. Konami used to mean quality to me. Now it just means nothing. There was a Sega Genesis version of that game? Huh. I wasn't aware. I also like how cheery the music this game is. It's just do, having a fun little time. Yeah. Yeah, but it's amazing what people were able to get out of the humble SNES towards the end of its life. No, a lot of people really love Contra hardcores. Like, that's not an unpopular opinion, because Contra hardcore is, by some people's opinion, the better than Contra 3. Culture Brain. They have a funny name. This is Magic of Shardaza, I believe that's how you pronounce that name. And it is a Zelda-like game by a company called Culture Brain. I'm sorry. They have a funny name. One day, peaceful Arabia was attacked by demons. Where's Doom Guy when you need him? The evil magician summoned them from the dark world. From his evil desire. One brave magician attempted to fight him, blah blah blah. His sweetheart was taken, you get the deal. Evil wizard, go punch him. This is also a stupidly rare NES game. It is, like, meticulously rare. Mainly because of its weird name and the fact that I think it got a limited release here in North America, which makes it stupidly hard to find. And also, it was released later on in the NES's lifespan, so, you know, that's always fun. Oh, you great magician Isfasa, descendant, welcome back to Arabia. Only old... Yeah, you get the idea. You get the idea. Okay, this guy looks like Mario. This person does not look like Mario. Yeah, but this is basically like Zelda, but more RPG-ish. It's kind of a top-down action RPG for the NES. There, now we have a sword. I never played Willow. Is that any good? The movie Willow was pretty decent in my opinion. Yeah, but this is like Zelda if Zelda was more of a harder RPG than it actually was. Like, I want to like Zelda 2. Like, Zelda 2 is one of those games that I absolutely wish I could like. I'm sorry, but Zelda 2 is bullshit in so many ways. And that's why I kind of wish Zelda 2 got a remake. So that they could, fix the bullshit. Yeah, fighting bandits. Bees! Get that money. This sort of reminds me of like Beyond Oasis in a very primitive proto way. I really wish Sega would make another Beyond Oasis game. Yes, I agree. Zelda 2 does need a remake. Hashtag remake Zelda 2. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. I'm an idiot. Bees! Die, bees! I'm sorry for the idiocy. Okay, that's enough of this game. Okay, I'm gonna play another stupidly rare late NES game. That seems to be a theme of this. Fire and Ice. It's a puzzle game. It's a little puzzle platformer. You play a little wizard. And you solve puzzles. Hooray. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry, Cosby. Welcome back, by the way. This is Fire and Ice. The last game was Magic of Chardonnay, I believe that's how you pronounce it. Fire and Ice is a game where you play as a little wizard and you push blocks of ice into fire. I'm sorry. This also had a Game Boy release, if I'm not mistaken. That's not what I wanted. Thank you. Yeah, it is pink, isn't it? I've never played the Game Boy version of this, so I can't say if it's actually good or not. I'm sorry. I think this is actually a sequel to another puzzle platformer on the NES called Solomon's Key. I'm not 100% sure if that's true or not. No, 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 fucked up. That's enough fire and ice. That's enough fire and ice. That's enough fire and ice. Is the, let me just turn up the music a little bit. Is that better? Is the music better on this one now? I'm sorry. This is Spelunker 2, this is a shit game. I don't care, Japan. I don't get why Japan loves the Spelunker games. They're all terrible. Is the music better now? Is the music better now? Okay, I wanted to make sure. Yeah, but Spelunker is terrible. Look at him. This game's awful. But I gotta show you some terrible games to make you appreciate the good games the NES had, in my humble onion. Thank you, Cosby. Look! Pig out of nowhere! How am I supposed to react to pig out of nowhere? This pig is like the fucking Flash. Oh. Hello, Yama. Thanks, Yama. Kinda. I've never played the Friday the 13th game on the NES, so I can't say. Why does everything hurt me? Yeah. Yeah, I've had enough of this game. I'm only human. Okay. For the last few games, we're gonna do the 3 first Super Mario Bros. Do. Everybody's seen and played Mario. If they haven't, I don't know where they've been alive. Do. This is the Mario Broders, yeah. Yeah. I know, right? Who's ever heard of the Super Mario Brothers? The Super Mario Men. The Super Brother Man. Now I'm going to switch into Hyperdrive and play one last game. But what is this last game, you say? Oh, we're in for a treat. And phenomenal feats. You're not going to see Koopas. You're not going to see Troopas. You're not going to see the others. You're not going to hang with the brothers. It's the first video game I ever remember playing. Magical Quest, starring Mickey Mouse for the NES. This is the first video game I specifically remember playing as a kid, I'm sorry. Before Donkey Kong, before Castlevania, before anything else, I remember Mickey Mouse. I'm sorry. So the plot is very simple. Mickey and his friends are goofing off, being fuckos. Then Pete kidnaps his dog. Go find Pete. Kick his ass. The end. M-I-C-K-Y. Yes, this is where Boner Wizard comes from. You'll see what I mean by when I say Boner Wizard. Yeah, but I think Mickey Mania is probably a better game than this, but I love this game. And here he is, Boner Wizard! Look at him! He looks like he has a giant fucking boner! He looks like he has a giant boner! I know it's supposed to be his knee, but I always thought it was a giant boner. Hiya, I'm looking for my dog, Pluto! Have you seen him? Suck. Yes, your dog's been captured by the evil ruler of this world, Emperor Pete. Yes. Give him back. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the idiot voices. I'm a child. I apologize. Yeah, you get the idea. Yeah, but as a kid, I thought he had just a giant, massive erection. I know it's his knee now, but it still looks like a boner to me. I'm sorry. If I remember right, it's points that give you extra lives in this game, not the coins. I mean, you can buy extra lives in the shop, but I think it's points. The GBA version of this game is not as good as the NES version. I mean, Super Nintendo, I'm so sorry. I apologize. Mainly because the screen crunch. The sequel, I believe, is for the also on the Sega Genesis. I'm not 100% sure about it. I'm just fucking up the English language today. I am sorry. Read that tomato. Yes, buddy. Well, here's the thing. I like the Yoshi's Island port for GBA. I know that's a sin. I'm sorry. I know I've committed a sin by liking the Yoshi's Island port for GBA. I'm fully aware of what I've done. I'm sorry. I like how most of the game's bosses are themed around Pete. I thought that was always clever. Okay, question. It's like the SNES version, but screen crunched. No. That's Yoshi's New Island, and we don't speak about Yoshi's New Island in this household. I am sorry. God, Yoshi's New Island. That just makes me depressed. I'm sorry. I apologize greatly for anyone who does like Yoshi's New Island, but it is a bad game. I'm not trying to be mean or anything here, but it's just not good. I'm sorry. I apologize. Gonna do the teabagging. Oh, I didn't know that, actually. I'm sorry, Cosby. Really? I did not know that. I did not know that that game almost killed that series. Would you all like to hear a terrible story from my childhood that scarred me for life? So, when I was a kid, my sister had pet mice. One was named Bubblejack. My sister was 4 when she had these pet mice, and we had a cat named Red. Now, Red was a good mouser, and one day when we came home, I was home from school. We came home from school to find that Red had gotten into the mouse cage, and he mutilated the mice and killed them. He mutilated the mice and killed them, and my sister absolutely cried for like days on end, and it scarred me to see that because he fucking tore up those mice. Red was a good kitty, though. He was just doing his best. I'm so sorry if that image if that image scarred you or anything. I apologize if that's gruesome or anything. Red went on to live to be 12 years old. Went on to be 12 years old. And then we had a cat named Rocket, but we always called him Fat Man because he was a fat sack of everything. And despite being inconceivably fat, he was still really fast. He lived up to his name, Rocket. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, 12. 12 is pretty old for a kitty. The oldest cat I have ever known was by the name of Marshall, who was owned by my grandma, who was this dark blue, dark blackish cat who was evil as hell. He was mean and nasty and growl at you. He lived to be the age 21. Marshall held on to life. He was simply so evil that he did not want to die. Marshall was an evil old cat, and I'm glad he's finally gone. But he lived to be 21 years old. And that is Mickey's Magical Quest. We have one more game I'm going to give you, I'm sorry. And then I'm going to call it quits for the day. I'm just going to show you a little bit of it anyways. I'm sorry. No, Marshall did not actually die of natural causes. Marshall got ran over by a car. He did not die of natural causes. God finally decided to put an end to him. This is a game called Ninja Warriors. Again! No, not poor Marshall. He's evil. I hated that cat. I always had to be aware of that cat when I went over to my grandma's house as a kid because he would just absolutely tear my shit up if I did anything. So yeah, this is actually, I think, getting a Switch remake. Yeah, I think this is getting like a Switch remake, so I think it's also coming out for the PS4 and PC. I'm not 100% sure. Oh, okay. I actually have the Wild Guns remake on Steam. It's pretty swell, in my opinion. Really? Huh. No wonder I like the SNES Power Rangers game so much. Oh, speaking of Power Rangers, the Battle for the Grid game looks pretty swell. I might get that soon. I think that comes out the end of this month. Wild Guns is also kind of bullshit hard in my humble opinion. Yeah, I will actually stream that. I'm gonna get the PC version because I don't have anything hooked up to my Switch to make it stream. I'm sorry. Does it come out this month or come out April? I don't remember. I'm sorry. Okay, I think I've had enough. In order to sign off, I'm going to now I'm going to do something that you can sign off to. Something that's public domain. Something that won't get me in trouble. But what exactly? I'm sorry. What can I sign off to that won't get me in legal trouble? Oh, I know. A national anthem of a country. So I'm going to go to this website called Random Country Generator. And it's going to choose a random country, and then we're going to sign off of that country's national anthem. Okay, it's Mali, so we're going to sign off with Mali's national anthem. I'm sorry. I hope all of you have had a nice time. And for the glory of Mali, thank you for watching. I know nothing about you, Mali, as a country. I'm sorry. I'm sure you're a nice place, full of nice people. I just don't know anything about you. Well, that's the end of the stream. I hope you've all enjoyed coming by. I'm going to cut the national anthem of Mali short. I'd like to apologize on behalf of whatever. Have a nice day.